This is my 1966 Pontiac Grand Prougian. A four-door hardtop, sport top, 283, two-speed power glide. Nothing special. Now this car here, I made a video on a few years ago, and I was planning on selling it. Now I did sell it, but I decided to buy it back because I figured this was my dream car. I made a stupid decision trading it for a 68 Volkswagen Beetle. Well, as I sold it, the guy I sold it to threw some trim clad all over there, lost a couple badges, and took a lot of the parts that this car was sold to him with. This car was then sold at auction to another guy about 2.5 hours away. I was upset because I didn't know where the Pontiac was going to end up. So luckily the guy posted on Facebook Marketplace. I had a 63 Chrysler Windsor that I traded for this thing back. Started peeling some of the paint down. Dove behind there, I painted that. But when the guy took everything out, he didn't do nothing right. He didn't sand it, he didn't prep it, nothing was right. Now when I originally bought this car, the frame had a big hole in there. About 2.5 years ago, I decided to do a frame swap on it. So now it's a good frame. The old 283 that was in here, the original 283, I overheated so bad that when I went to go put the pistons back in, after throwing a cam in there and getting everything ready, the block was so warped so bad that the piston wouldn't slide in. So I got new engine out of another 66 Grand Prougian. I put it in here, and some stuff has happened to it since then. Got brand new polyurethane body to frame mounts here, but that's about it. The radiator, I don't know if it's good anymore. There's a few things. But when I originally bought the car, the guy I bought it from thought it'd be a good idea to weld the fender to the rocker. So today, I'm going to start my restoration on this car. I'm going to put her back on the road. Now, the reason I say this is because I lost my license, which actually helps me out, because instead of spending $400 a week to get to work, I throw a guy $60 a week, or every 2 weeks to get to work. So, saving a whole lot of money, and I can use a whole lot of that. Now, one other thing too, I've got an 89 Volvo 240 I'm waiting on a rear seal from, and I got a Dodge Dakota to switch a transfer case out of, and cracked it pulling another car across the yard. But I can at least start this. So what I'm going to do to start the car, the restoration on the car, so there's no brakes on here. It's got a 10 bolt in there, but far away in the driveway there happens to be a 12 bolt that I picked up, and well, this car originally came with a 12 bolt, so getting that 12 bolt to put in here is going to be pretty nice. Running 3 bias plies and a winter radial. Tires and wheels, that'll all be done at the very end. Now what I'm going to do for this winter, for the next 5 months, that's all the time I got, Cut this quarter out. It was repaired before, not by me, using copper plating. So underneath here, all those little patches and all that crappy welding, that's all copper plating. So what I'm gonna start doing, that front driver's door, I cannot adjust it. A few years ago, I had the door open, the window down, and I backed up. The door hit that tree. And, well, now there's a dent at the bottom of it. I pushed the hinges in a little bit at the bottom. Now I can't adjust those until these fenders are off. So, being said, I'll start the restoration. First thing we're gonna do, I'm gonna take this front bumper off. It's a little sad on this one side, kind of sticks out a little bit. It's got a dent there. So I'm gonna take the entire front clip off. I'm gonna leave the hood on this time, because last time I left the hood off, water got into the motor and it didn't go very well. So this is what we're doing. I guess I'll give you guys a bit of a interior look. This is the original interior car too. Started taking off the inside door handles. I was going to repaint them, but those can wait till later. The original door panels, original dash, of the 66 Grand Parisiens were the only ones that had the wood grain dash. The 66 Parisian, the Laurentine, and the Stratachief, they all had, where this wood grain is, was all a black texture. Now, the interior, it's all brand new. It's about the same as when I did my last video on this. Back seat is still holding up good. Got the original floor mats, original carpet even, and seat belts too. I started putting in an 8-track player, but there's no hole on the other side and I don't really want to drill into the dash, so eventually I'll get that all done. When I hooked up the steering box a few years ago, I put the steering wheel in upside down, so I'll have to fix that. These seals all starting to crack, and this car, it's a no post car. The only other no post 66 Pontiac that I've seen is so rotten you can grab these half pillars and move it out to about here and backwards onto the inside. Because these seals go bad. When they go bad, water gets in, soaks in the carpet, and they rot like crazy. Luckily, this one hasn't gotten to this point yet, but there's a few things I need to do, like tighten that up, and I definitely want to get a new seal for the car. But Grand Parisian. They only built the 4-door versions of the Grand Parisian in Canada. Some of you might have seen this rear taillight panel and thought, oh, it's a Grand Prix. Nope. It's a Canadian model, which means Chevy frame, Chevy drivetrain, everything Chevrolet, except for the dash and the body. Even the interior comes out of a Chevy. Now the frame that is on here currently, as you can see, the window hits. I gotta lift it up, and can't really lift it up a whole lot because these door pins are solid. That's one of the things I gotta fix. This car, 77,584 miles on it. The frame that I took for this car that's under it now is about 39,000. So we've got a little bit better. Once this thing's driving, it'll be my daily driver. Although I gotta find a couple badges, little trim pieces, wheels and tires, that'll all be done at the very end. I'm keeping the Steelies, I'm keeping these hubcaps. I like the look of them. Nothing's gonna change unless I can get some good mags for it, Krager SSTs. That'll look pretty nice. But for now, I'm gonna be getting all brand new bias plies for it. I'm gonna paint it the original color, ermine white. Show you the body code here. This whole car is gonna get completely torn apart. This whole front end will be taken out. That motor runs, but the transmission a couple of years ago, I didn't put the torque converter in all the way, and so when I went to go tighten up the transmission, made a big crack going on the side. So what I'm gonna do is, once this is all torn out, we're gonna take the engine transmission out, take the transmission off from the motor, and once that is done, I'm gonna put the torque converter back in the transmission, build a mount for my drill, see if it's worth fixing this transmission or if I destroyed the fluid pump. She runs strong. Everything's getting torn apart. I do good paint underneath. I'm gonna have to get new front fenders with all that patching, but I can use the old fenders for where these two holes are in the ground. I already got a set of fenders set up, a little bit of the trunk floor where those copper patches are, and I got a quarter that's not perfect. It's got some rust on there, but it's better than working with this garbage bodywork that has been done to the car beforehand. So I'm going to start today in my next video cutting the fender off at the bottom, taking the whole front clip out, and see if I can take the engine transmission out. So if you're interested in that, there'll be another video coming out soon.